What are you working on there?
Well, all these scraps from the planking,
Yeah.
we're salvaging them to make all these other pieces.
This is the new drawer?
No,
this
it's
is the
the old
old
drawer.
drawer that got redone by Doug.
Yeah, it's all coming apart. And it was like, oh, I don't want to make none of these. So we were able to,
Look at how beautiful it came out.
yeah.
So you relaminated the bottom.
Now these doors, much like a lot of them, were just dried out and delaminating.
Okay.
So we're going to pry these open.
The shelf will be below that, and the water heater will be sitting underneath that shelf. So it'll be-
Okay. For Renee, we're gonna laminate. We're gonna take off this Formica. Hey, Doug.
Hey,
How are you, bud?
noise making.
Noise making. That's good. Noise is good. What are you working on there?
Well, all these scraps from the planking,
Yeah.
we're salvaging them to make all these other pieces.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
that's what we're doing today. Making a cockpit place and, ooh.
Lots of
Where do you want
stuff.
to start?
Just a bunch of little stuff.
Little stuff. That's
Little
the name of the game.
Okay. Fun.
All right, John. Good to see you. Good to see you.
This is the new drawer.
No,
this
it's
is the
the old
old
drawer.
drawer that got redone by Doug.
Yeah, it's all coming apart. And it was like, oh, I don't want to make none of these. So we were able to,
Look at how beautiful it came out.
yeah,
So you relaminated the bottom. This is
nice.
the old bottom.
a lot of rust. It was from masonite. And it was like, really? So we had to take the bottom out anyway to get the drawer apart. So while we had it out, I'm like, I can't put this back in the boat. You know? And like this little fascia down below.
So now, that was cut from the new piece of Formica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fascia below the galley stove. This just peeled off with our bare hands almost.
This is the fascia below the galley.
Yeah, this is the Formica that was on it.
Yeah.
It was chipped in the corners,
Okay.
delaminating.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of this stuff is about delaminating,
Yeah.
rot, coming apart, mildew, mold. This is the galley drawer, and it was coming apart. This is the old bottom, and it was getting pretty funky. So we had to take it completely apart and make a new bottom Formica for both sides and re-glue everything back together. And then we cleaned up the dividers and sealed them with Smiths. And this part here was busted off. And so we decided to just repair this instead of making a new one.
Because we want to keep as many of the old pieces and just fix them up. So you mentioned something about the difference between the metric width and
Yeah, like this masonite, I guess we'll call it, is I think 4 millimeter or something. And what we had was only 3 or so. So we glued Formica both sides to bring us up to that thickness.
Plus, there's a piece on the outside and one on the inside.
Yeah, plus by gluing it both sides, minutes to glue it as opposed to sealing this, priming it, painting it, you know what I mean?
Now there is still a little bit of damage.
Oh yeah, well that was long gone. There's actually a little rot there, and the piece just fell off. Well, in the galley, throughout the boat, as we progress, stuff like this, this delaminating, it's got some mold on it, it's starting to rot, and pieces just falling off. And this is the fascia, that was the fascia, that this shelf is in the galley and below the stove. This is here.
Okay.
Well, we can almost peel this off by hand. So what we just did this morning is we made a new one of those, improved one of those. And the fascia we were able to save, the wooden part.
Okay.
So we've glued up, instead of that being a painted shelf, we made a new shelf It's going to have a Formica top.
Okay.
It'll be a lot cleaner, waterproof. And this is the fascia we were able to salvage. So new Formica on the outside of it. The bulkhead itself, we're still debating whether to replace it or repair it. And so,
no.
I know. It's over here. This we can cut out because that's not necessary. But the whole thing is delaminating.
Where is this?
This is the bulkhead that supports the stove.
Oh, the one between the stove and the fridge.
Yeah. And we've got mold down here, the lamination and rot. See it? Okay. And same old story. Do you spend X number of hours trying to fix this thing, or it becomes a pattern? You see that piece over there that's over half a sheet of plywood?
Right.
We glued that up about 2 or 3 weeks ago, just for stuff like this. So we can,
Just to have ready to cut.
yeah, so we can lay this on
That
there.
doesn't, yeah, that looks like you could just use that as a pattern for a new one.
Right, but here's the problem. All these cleats on this side have to end up dead on for the refrigerator supports, which is no big deal. We can make jigs for this in not too much time. This is the refrigerator fascia part of the galley.
Yes.
And these measurements, the old drawer goes in here.
Okay.
These measurements, we had no room to spare. And so all of this cutouts and everything are very critical. This is the upper shelf that will support the drawers, the drawer. The drawer slides in here.
Okay.
These cleats, when you slide the refrigerator in, these keep these and the matching pair on the bottom shelf keep the refrigerator from moving fore and aft.
Okay.
Okay, this piece, the refrigerator just touches this. This is on the outboard side, so if the boat's heeled over to port, it'll have the support of this, plus this cleat, when it's screwed down, clamps onto the refrigerator.
Okay.
In addition to that, the feet sit in these detents, little rubber feet.
Yeah.
So that's your first line of defense there. They won't squeak and rattle around. It locks right in. And then of course, the final thing is the fascia is screwed on that flange that goes over the outside of the fascia.
Right.
So it's supported up and down, fore and aft, and side to side. It's good.
So these were not there before, huh? These are all new
No.
pieces.
Oh yeah,
These
yeah.
are all new pieces.
Well,
that
the
you
new
had to design.
Yeah, the new fridge and nothing in there worked for us anymore. So we just had to go with all new. And it's fine. The reason for these cutouts is mainly air, ventilation.
Okay.
Just while we were laying them out too, it was handy to have this hole in to reach under and mark the cleats. Yeah, because it was kind of stuffed back in the corner,
Nice.
and that's where the display screen's gonna go.
Right, right.
So what we're gonna do, it'll make the boat look a lot bigger and probably make that area more useful, is we're just gonna have a nice wide countertop.
Okay.
You hinge up like this and open the fridge, have a little storage over here.
Right.
But that's where the old chart table was.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll be there again. So if the burning desire to get an old-fashioned chart out,
Or do anything, just even have more counter space.
if nothing else, a place, let's say you're preparing a meal, to set something.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so you're going to use the old cabinet doors now in the master, in the stateroom.
Yeah, down here.
Cabinet stateroom, yeah.
So we'll build these little fascias so that when you open this door, the hull is way down here. So you have a nice deep area for stuff.
Yeah, safe.
And then about,
Sweaters or some-
no, not sweaters, you don't want that near the hull. Tools, spare parts, oil filters, stuff you don't use much.
stuff like that you don't keep in a stateroom.
Shoes.
Shoes, there you go.
And then about halfway up, we're gonna put a little shelf with a rail on it for whatever. So you'll actually gain some storage space from that closet area.
Well, we lost a closet.
Yeah, sorta. It was a walk-through.
No, it was just a closet. You could walk through it, but
You could.
But nobody ever did.
No.
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 Not
Only if it
in
was really
15 years.
raining or something.
Yeah.
On the other side, that would be a captain's lair.
So that's what. Okay, now, so that's what that's all about. Now these doors, much like a lot of them, were just dried out and delaminating.
Okay.
So we're going to pry these open, take the screws out, pry it open, and glue it back down on the bench so it's flat.
Okay.
And both that way. They're just delaminating, but fortunately we can get them
The wood
apart.
itself is good. It was filling up with parts.
Yeah, so here's all the doors newly varnished. and this is the door that goes to the engine behind the ladder.
Yeah.
And so we changed from that dark varnish to white.
Ah, very nice.
So now that cave will brighten it up a lot.
So that is, that's just painted over the varnish?
Yeah, we stripped it.
Hey, no, it looks nice with the,
Mm-hmm.
with the white face.
Well, underneath the ladder, the steps will
Yeah.
be, and it'll
Brighter.
be brighter, and the boat will look a lot bigger. It won't be so dark in there. And these are all the various rails and stuff that we've refinished.
Oh, great. Deck, under decking?
Yeah, what are these are the new shelves we made for the little cabinets
Which cabinet?
in the saloon.
Okay,
There's one port and starboard, just little shelves halfway up in the lockers.
nice.
So
ready
those
to
are all
put
done.
in?
Yeah.
Great.
And then these are the new cockpit doors.
Clint? Young man? Hello. How are you, buddy? Greetings. Greetings. Good, how you doing?
Great.
And these are the new cockpit doors.
Ah, very nice.
So we're building up some varnish on it. We got a
They don't
couple.
look that much thicker. I mean, that much deeper.
How much what?
That much taller.
It's amazing. Inch and a half or something?
Yeah, I'm going to put the edge band on there. So, I mean, I just put my leg over there. I can totally.
And what are
tell.
they made out of?
Marine ply,
Marine ply, okay.
just like the old ones. An inch and a half doesn't sound like much, but when it's on the top of only this much space and you go like that, it's large.
Okay,
Mitts,
okay.
look at the laminates in this thing.
That's how many you had?
Oh, it's beautiful stuff. And of course you saturate that with Smiths, and then with each coat as you sand it with the varnish, you keep building it up. And of course in the holes where the screws go, you just pour the Smiths in there so that it seals them. See the orchards, they're really growing.
Way back there, huh?
See them up on the hill?
Yeah.
They only planted those a few years ago and they're really growing. It's a mix of citrus, avocado, grapes, and over the, huh?
How do you know?
Well, you can tell by looking at them, but also the grapes are down this way towards the ocean, and they started $100 a bottle.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's some special grape or it's the climate, whatever. You've now exhausted my wine connoisseur knowledge. Oh, by the way, that bottle of wine,
Yes?
that was great. Thank you.
You liked it?
Yeah,
Okay,
my girlfriend and I split it.
Okay. Yes.
Underneath where the old battery control used to be.
Yeah, it'll set, there'll be a shelf down underneath this where the batteries go, and there'll be another shelf down there, and the water heater will go back up under there.
So the water heater's gonna go on that shelf?
No,
sorry.
That's where your engine battery
Oh, okay.
still is gonna go back there where it was.
Right.
The shelf will be below that, and the water heater will be sitting underneath that shelf. So
Ah,
it'll be
okay.
in that square there.
Okay. How much does that thing weigh?
I mean, you can
Not that
walk
much.
away with it right now, but it's gonna have 6 gallons of water in it, so,
Yeah.
50 pounds.
I mean, not enough to worry
So it
about.
always has some water in it.
It's always full,
It's always full. Gotcha.
and it's heated by shore power or by the engine. So when your engine's running, you motor over to the islands, you got hot water when you get to the island. The battery charger circuit breakers, and then the galvanic isolator.
And what is a galvanic isolator?
Well, the one thing your boat has common with every other boat in the harbor and with the docks and everything is the green wire on the shore power, the safety ground. So if there's a problem on a boat next to yours, it can come on your boat through the green wire.
Right, because it's a common.
So the galvanic isolator essentially is diodes in the green wire of the 110. So any problem on the dock or on another boat on the dock can't come on your boat.
Wow.
So your zinc won't be protecting their problem.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
If you look on the down low and look outboard and forward, that's where the new inverter location.
Okay, beautiful. New inverter, all new wiring, or is, yeah.
And I tried to salvage some of your old battery cabling.
Yeah.
I was able to salvage a couple pieces. I was surprised most of it was really corroded.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel comfortable putting the old wire in there. I mean, it's both, the tin copper looks like silver when you strip back the wire.
Right.
And this was gray. So it was like,
It's had water penetration.
Some batteries are in
All right.
here.
the house battery, the batteries themselves for the house bank will be here and then 2 more outboard here.
Okay.
Okay, so there'll be 6 total of those. The engine battery will be mounted on that shelf in the cockpit locker. This switch will
Right.
control both the engine and the house battery.
Beautiful.
And then this switch will isolate the inverter.
Okay. We'll need instructions on all of that.
Well, you'll get all that.
Yeah.
And then down here you have the blocks for all your battery cabling. You got the fuse for the inverter down under here. But as opposed to being, they had most of it up in that one locker that was over here before, but those stuff scattered all over. Now everything's going to be pretty much in one place.
Nice.
The same way with the panel.
Okay.
Originally, with the old electrical panel there was all the 12-volt stuff. The 110 stuff was out in that cockpit locker. So if you wanted to turn on something 110, you had to climb out of the boat, up the cockpit locker. Now everything's right here. It'll look a little confusing at the moment because I've just run all the wire in here and
Sure.
haven't connected anything yet. But
Oh, it's all run. Ah, beautiful.
well, not all of it, but a lot of it. But down here, this is where all the battery cabling runs and comes back along there, used for the alternator output. And there was the battery cabling.
I'm just making some blocks to re-glue these panels back in the doors.
Okay.
That one's not as bad as this one, but it's bad enough to where we need to,
So you're getting them all off, completely off.
yeah.
Taking them all off, re-glue them from the start.
Just the glue just died of old age, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yes, and
so
That's great.
we'll glue
You don't
those.
want to put back on old doors that are all falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to deal with that, so we had to do,
And so now you're going to make blocks for the gluing process? Something
yeah.
just gets close, or it has to be exact?
Just close, like a 1/4 inch around, because we have cleanup to do once we glue them.
Yeah.
You don't want to glue the gluing block.
Right.
All right, let me just rip this.
You don't just glue with a couple of clamps,
Yeah, but you got to make these big blocks to spread the,
spread the pressure.
yeah, evenly. All these old scraps of this 1/2 inch marine ply, we just use it for various projects, including gluing blocks. All right, here we go. That's good plywood.
That looks like nice plywood, yeah, wow.
Made in Texas. You can feel the little edges and the corners are lifting. This is good here, but it's the same old story. If it's lifting here and there,
So you want to try to get it completely off,
yeah.
instead of just trying to force the glue down there and,
Oh, that isn't happening.
no?
Well, it's stuck in here, but this is not stuck
Yeah,
along here.
Oh, I see.
stuck here.
So it's just stuck in the middle. Can you apply heat, or?
Shooting
just-
on the wood.
There's varnish on the other side.
Yeah, if you just wedge it, the glue will slowly let go.
I can hear it creaking.
It's cracking right there.
Of course, you know, it holds on just good enough.
I know, I know.
But the good thing is we don't have to make a new panel for this one.
If it doesn't crack.
That's all.
No, it's plywood. It shouldn't.
Oh, is that it?
Pretty close. Nail the corner here. Could be. There we go.
Okay, so the one thing Renee really wanted to do was do something special with this bulkhead here, which is full of holes, as you can see from all the previous gear, cracked. And we pretty much thought it was not even possible to change it, just clean it up. But now, for Renee, we're gonna laminate, we're gonna take off this Formica.
This right here.
So Clint and Doug think we can take it off.
So we just
Oh wow, look at that.
we just put some heat to it with the heat gun,
Right.
and we just start peeling it off. So this is cut to here and cut to right here. You can see.
You have to take this off.
Right up there.
Or you think it'll just come off?
I might be able to get it out.
Okay.
The metal will come off. The trim here is gonna
The metal
come off.
frame you already had off, so you've put that back on.
Yeah, I put it back on. So
So that looks good.
um,
So you think we can just take off this whole
Yeah.
whole piece?
yeah, it's gonna come off, and then where's the seam at?
And we're gonna-
seam
yeah.
right there. And then same with this here.
Take it down, just right down
Take it
to
down
the,
right there.
to the cleat, whatever
Yeah,
it's called.
wherever it is right here, take it out. Nothing below that cleat will come out. We'll relaminate as we plank, like we've been doing on all the bulkheads.
Well, it'll look amazing.
We went down low. It was already delaminated on the bottom, as you can see right here.
Right.
So we just started putting some heat to it, and you can see back in there.
Wow.
You just gotta do it real slow, and it comes
Okay,
off.
just
without
chip it
ripping.
off. Just
No.
basically take it off section at a time.
No, I'll
No?
just put heat to it, take the metal off here, and just start peeling it back.
Just start peeling it
Yeah,
back.
and this right here will come out when the trim's off.
Sure, that's
Just, you don't want to yank it off because it'll pull a layer of the plywood off, maybe. Or
Okay, yeah.
Just kind of do it real slow
Yeah.
and get it off.
It's like
and then-
peeling a label off of
Yeah.
something. Yeah. This is a new cabinet, or at least a fixed-up cabinet.
Yeah, we
Yes.
just got it all prepped and painted the bottoms, so the bottoms are white now.
Nice.
It's not going to be a cave anymore in there.
Gotcha. You're right. Those bottoms are all kind of a brown color.
Yeah,
Or red-
Yeah,
red-
dark brown.
So that looks nice.
These are going to get replaced right here in between.
Okay, let's see.
This
Oh,
old
you see,
Formica.
that was the kind of the way it was before. right?
Yeah, this was that old Formica that they had on there. I mean,
It was a wood grain Formica.
yeah.
That's all it was. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful wood grain Formica. I think there's a grain in there.
There was a grain. Yeah, I can see a wood grain. Kind of a.
So these have been sanded and prepped. We're just going to...
So what are we gonna put on top here? White Formica.
White Formica right here.
Gotcha.
That's
Now,
gonna,
do you need to take that frame out, or is that solid now? And it looks solid.
No, that stains. That stays.
That's in there, right?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
gonna
so
stay.
you'll glue the Formica in place right here.
Yeah. We'll just glue it right to it. Boom.
Okay.
Same with the starboard side over here.
And this one's done as well, basically.
Yeah, that's been painted also.
Beautiful. And the switch has been reinstalled. Nice. Okay. Starting to clean up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then over here is the
there.
chart. This is the new chart table area where the refrigerator is going to go in there.
Slash
The fridge-
refrigerator, yeah.
Workstation. This is going to be the workstation. Guys, it's coming together.
We're gonna this old thing right here.
Yeah.
Can't really tell, but it's
It looks
it's,
just,
it's in really bad condition. If you look,
I can see it.
if you
I
get
can
down
see
low
it.
and look, it's just completely.
Yeah, wonky.
We're gonna move it
Blowing it.
inboard.
Okay.
We're gonna make a new one.
and move it right to there.
Move it inboard.
It's not structural at all, right?
No.
Huh.
And this right here, we're gonna shorten this. That way we
Open
have.
this whole thing up.
That way the hatches open nicely for the.
Oh, okay, cool.
This. Is it Fibber McGee and Molly?
So here is the front fascia. Let's take a look at the. So
Okay.
we don't care about the back because that was going to be ceiling planks anyway.
Well, this, what was it? This was the top, wasn't it?
No, that was the shelf. The bottom, wasn't it?
No, this was the part
Yeah, that was the top.
that went out in the hole. This is the piece you removed when the termite droppings fell out a year and a half ago, which started all this stuff. Because it was masonite, and it, once again, see it? It cut the air off, completely cut the air off to the underside of the hull.
Right.
Must have had a tiny deck leak there, which wasn't detected because it was landing here. Termites love wet wood. And that's what we found about 1.5 years ago above the galley. And that's this piece. It went up against the deck beams. You see here? This was the upside. It's very warped and falling apart. So, delaminating once again.
Yeah, it was delaminating, yeah.
And so,
but look how lovely it is with the little frame around the wood, around here.
oh, it's very lovely. Yes. We have a couple options. We're not, and one of them is not trying to restore this. Once again.
Well, again, the front, this piece here, obviously that's becoming delaminated, but is the wood actually, you know?
I believe this is original construction. See this?
Yeah.
I think Giovanni, or whoever he was, did a lot of work on this. Now,
So we should try to keep it.
well, I think what we can do, option number 3, whatever, is cut this right here. Cut this off.
Why, the bottom's awesome too, with the little, the way
I know, but we'd have to make a whole new one, Charlie.
the new laminate.
Yeah.
Front side.
Here's what I'm thinking. What if we cut this here, got rid of this,
Right.
restored this as much as we can, and then down here on the actual countertop, we put a nice high rail here, say 3 inches,
Right.
with some dividers in there for mica, so that you can put bowls and plates and so forth. That's it. Simplicity itself. Keep this upper half.
Look, it's for the cabinets.
Yeah,
And then this is an open space just in the middle here.
right.
This guy, this sat behind here
Right.
so that you could,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Bottles of wine didn't go flying everywhere.
What's that?
Your bottles of wine and whiskey didn't go flying everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing.
It is.
But we try to save all the little screws, see 'em?
Yeah, look, it's beautiful. The pieces.
But now what I would do with this, clean it up, soak it with Smiths,
Yeah,
and paint it white.
good, beautiful.
Yeah,
Done.
because then it's bright in there.
Yeah.
We're trying to get rid of all this darkness, you know. This top shelf, when you screw it down into the cleats, it presses down right here and keeps pressure. And then there's a little cleat here. So when the boat's heeled over to port, like this, the fridge can't move. And the rubber feet are let into little
Little
detents.
holes,
So, and then finally, the fascia is screwed in here.
Okay.
And we have cleats here too on both the top and bottom shelves. They keep the fridge from shifting fore and aft.
Great.
So that should be,
Brand new thing for us to have the refrigerator.
yep.
Getting close.
There-
Getting close.
There's the new stove. Now this is about 2 inches narrower than the old stove,
Okay.
which we knew
Yeah.
because the next size up, remember, was too big.
Too big, yeah.
So we'll just have to put heavier cleats to come into this dimension here, which is, I don't know, 20, I think.
Plus the ice chest.
Yeah, let's face it. It's,
The drink side. You always
Where all
have
the drinks,
that.
where all the drinks
You're
go.
always going to have that.
I see. There you go.
I refer to sailing as camping out in luxury.
Yes, exactly.
Can't be that sometimes rather cramped lecture.
Yeah, you don't have to put the tent up.
So here's the other part of our new system.
I think it's 34 quarts or something. That's a new measurement they use instead of saying cubic feet, you know what I mean?
Well, it looks like it can hold about 6 bottles of wine.
Oh, yeah.
And again, mostly deep freeze. They're going to put, you know, frozen stuff in there and slowly pull from there.
Or you know what I do when we go camping? This is a great idea, by the way.
Okay.
I make up days in advance a bunch of breakfast sandwiches, like on sourdough,
Okay.
a bunch of lunch sandwiches, like tuna or whatever your favorite is, wrap them in tin foil and freeze them. Now, time to go sailing for 4 days, right? You know, the boat's lurching around and you're halfway across the channel and you want a sandwich,
All right. Just,
it's right in there.
yeah.
And because they're frozen when you load them, they help this.
Yeah, stay. You don't need
Yeah.
to put much energy into it.
Right, so you take them out and you want to heat that sandwich up. You leave it in the tin foil.
Strap it to the muffler.
Put it in the
Strap it to
microwave.
the muffler.
You have a microwave?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, you put it in the skillet.
Yeah. Yeah.
put the lid on the skillet,
Yeah.
and put the fire on tiny.
Tiny.
And that little tin foil becomes its own little oven.
Oh, just leave it in the tin foil.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And it's not sitting on a hot pan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got the big clamps, right?
Yeah, I got 2 bigs and 2 mediums.
So if we go like this right here, see these openings?
Yeah.
And then put this one over here, we can, 2 clamps will do it per door.
Want to do it just like that?
Yeah, because, what do you think? It's not gonna leak, is it?
I'm just worried about push down on this and there being a gap right there. Should we
Oh,
go like this? Will these fit? Box fit inside? That might be better. You think?
we could, but remember, we're not putting a lot of pressure on it.
What's wrong? You look baffled.
I am baffled. Well, we'll have a little leakage out the nail hole, we can clean that.
Oh yeah.
Because nothing's gonna be in the way. Okay. Getting out to the edge here. Properly numbered A and B. I'm just gonna do the edges, you get the feel. So, you make sure all the surfaces are just, if nothing else, just damp, in this case. With the corners,
You don't use that like thick white glue,
no.
like big old wood glue. What Elmer's?
Oh, that stuff, you wouldn't have time to
use-
get the clamps on. See this, you got.
Super glue? No super glue?
No.
Why not?
This is super glue. It's just not very fast. These are pulverized cotton fibers, basically. Okay.
People are fascinated by this.
I think there's a lot of dementia out there. And I've always been interested in boats, really.
Yeah, you can come and work. Their internships are opening up quick. Doug's taking interns.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, it's one of those trades that, let's face it, it's in the latter days.
Yeah.
We are working, 2 T-Rexes working on a Brontosaurus here. And,
He just called you a T-Rex.
yeah.
Hey, my arms aren't that small.
Get the T-Rex syndrome. When you're sitting down, if your belly's out too big, your arms are here, it's T-Rex time. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
3-year party?
We're going in.
Oh, it doesn't fit.
You said
Is that the right, is that the right one?
Just the division.
Okay,
It only goes in one way.
okay.
A and B.
Now we wipe this excess off. And you know what, Clint? Just for, because Mr. Murphy loves boat shops, let's put some wax paper on those blocks of wood. Was he saying Murphy was an optimistic sailor?
Well, there is one of the corollaries of Murphy's Law is Murphy was an optimist.
Yeah. Just put it right on the wood. Okay. We're almost there.
Mike? I lust after your table.
You know, getting it level was getting it straight.
Great workbench here. Everybody's commenting Doug's epic workbench. Let's take a look at it.
It does
The
not.
new segment, the workbench. Let's take a look at the workbench.
You know, go
It is
out.
pretty awesome.
It is.
It does not move.
It's not moving.
If that boat's still here a year from now,
Yeah.
that episode will be called Doug's New Straitjacket.
Doug takes his own life.
Yeah.
Signs
Remembering
his
Doug.
house over to Charlie.
Suicide of Ventura, film at 11.
So, what's so you guys, you've tackled a lot of little jobs here. There's a lot of little jobs more to go.
It's-
What are you hoping, big way, in the next couple of weeks? Finish up the galley, get the galley back together.
In the next couple of weeks. Oh yeah, we want to get that. the galley together, because see, then we can say the galley and those two little fascias in the stateroom,
Yeah.
which we'll start on tomorrow. That way we can say, okay, from the bow to here,
You're pretty much done.
we're done. Then we go into the saloon, which is a bunch of little sticks. You saw those supports for the seats?
Yeah.
Oh, that and the other fridge, a little storage bin over here, outboard of the fridge, countertop, move that little bulkhead over. Did we show them that?
Dave showed me that, but I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah. Move it over about 4 inches.
Yes, Clint showed that to me.
Okay, that's a mile,
yeah.
4 inches. So
But
move that
little-
over.
That little unit there that needs to move, that little wall, that little half wall, that's not structural or anything, it was just a little,
It's just a wall to keep the engine noise out of the boat.
okay.
That's why it was so thick. Yeah, it wasn't.
But we'll move it over.
Yeah, inboard about, I think, 4 inches.
Yeah.
That way the fridge can drop in, come out this way a little bit, be more accessible. And we'll still have a pretty good area out here for storage of stuff that you don't use very often.
Why do you think it was so far away from the engine? Is it going to give less ventilation to the engine compartment or anything?
Well, all those filters there, I think the thinking was that it'd be easier to change them, but they come straight out like this. So, you remember that fuel shutoff valve that was in that sloping shelf?
Yes.
We're removing that.
Okay.
So where it's, because the shelf is just loose around it, and the valve is kind of like attached to this loose shelf.
Are you gonna
So,
have a fuel
but I mean,
shutoff valve?
Oh yeah.
now what about the bulkhead, the laminate on the? We got to order that material.
Right. When you get home,
Yeah, I will dig that.
text
out.
me the name of that stuff. Allegra something or other.
Let's just get it.
Okay? Need 2 sheets.
2 sheets, yeah.
$50 a sheet, I think.
That ain't the big cost.
No. Yeah, I think the cheapest plywood you can buy is $50 a sheet. But the fuel shutoff, John, was basically for changing the fuel filter. It was to keep air from
Right.
backing up.
Right, so you didn't have to burn the fuel system.
So
Right.
would you want to finish the galley first and then move to the bulkhead?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yeah. Now we'll be doing other stuff, like for instance those shelves I showed you that go outboard of the settee. You know, we have the material for that.
Right.
We can cut those, because what happens? You cut them, then you have to smith them, then you have to prime them, then you have to paint them, and then you can put them in. So we'll be doing a lot of that stuff right away, knowing that you understand now that those are nothing but patterns. And the same with the galley cabinet. We'll just cut it right down there about 7 or 8 inches off the bottom, and bingo, bango, bungo.